All right, hello everybody. Chief Meteorologist Hunter Williams here alongside Bryan Mays. We wanted to hop on here just like what we did unfortunately last night and walk you through the latest with another fire that has developed, this time over Travis County. So we now at Decker Lake and Hogeye Road have a 100-acre fire that has developed. Austin Fire Department says that it is now 60% contained, but you're looking live right now, the vantage point from our tower cam, where as the breeze picks up this evening, we have seen those flames start to increase in size some over just the past couple of minutes. And then in the top right, we also have a crew on the scene there who is keeping an eye on this as well. Let me take this live view full for you. Again, this is our tower cam. You can see the smoke plume being blown in a pretty breezy south wind again this evening that has been blown up towards the Pflugerville area. Even here at the TV station, we've been able to see that smoke plume. So here are the latest numbers for you. Again, it is 100 acres at last report from the Austin Fire Department. They say it is 60% contained at the last report as well. The conditions are unfortunately very similar to what we were dealing with yesterday. It is still very breezy. Austin right now is gusting to 21 miles per hour. The humidity has been quite low through this afternoon, but it's the same thing that we talked about yesterday. We're already started to see those humidity values increase a little bit. That makes it a little bit harder for fires to spread. So hopefully that continues to help crews get that contained. Again, at latest report, it was 60% contained. Wanted to show you this, a red flag warning. This remains in effect through 11 p.m. tomorrow evening for critical fire danger. It is likely to be extended beyond that as well. What I want to do, we have Bryan Mays here. We will bring him in. Bryan, I've got your traffic map pulled up, and if you could walk folks through exactly where this fire is located right now.
All right, if you can see the map, you can, Walter E. Long Lake takes up a big portion of the right-hand side of that map. Just to the south of the lake, in this area near Hogeye Road and Decker Lake Road, this is where the fire started. It's burning now to the northwest at this point. So this area here is the area we're talking about. If you're familiar with this part of southeast Austin, you can see the Expo Center is right here on the map. So this fire burning not far away from the Expo Center there on that side of town. Again, this is Decker Lake Road, Hogeye Road, and this is where the fire originated late this afternoon. Again, fire crews saying that about 100 acres have burned at this point. It's about 60% contained, so that's good news. The bad news is the fire department, the Austin Fire Department, reporting that there have been 2 structures lost. Thankfully, they were vacant structures. We don't know what type of buildings those were, but 2 buildings have burned in this grass fire. Again, it's burning just south of Walter E. Long Lake. They're near Hogeye Road and Decker Lake Road, the Expo Center on this side of the screen, so you can kind of get an idea of where that is. And the map on the left, you can see some of the people there, and this is a view now of the tower camera where you can definitely still see that orange glow, which has become, Hunter, way too familiar this summer. We've seen a lot of dry conditions, and these recent windy conditions really leading to a lot of this grass fire. We've had at least 3 today we've been following, counting the one in Cedar Park we told you about last night that destroyed part of an apartment complex, one of the buildings, and then 3 others were damaged in that. But this is, of course, in southeast Austin near Walter E. Long Lake and the Expo Center. So, Hunter, those conditions out there not getting much better. You can see in the tower cam that wind still blowing that smoke around out there.
Unfortunately, it is still the same reality that we talked about with the situation in Cedar Park. Last night, it's breezy. We have increasing drought conditions. Today's high temperature was 108 degrees. So when you have that combination of factors, the fire danger does remain high. I have Quita Culpepper in studio with us as well. Quita, I know you've been watching this. There have been a couple of structures involved. It appears that both of those were vacant structures, but do you have any additional information for us?
Not at this time, not about this particular fire, but I was taking a look at the Texas fire map, and it shows that there are 3 significant fires burning in our particular area. The first one, the fire that we've been telling people so much about over at Decker Lake, that one, they are trying to get it contained right now, but of course, crews are still on the scene. The Texas Fire Service is there on the way, trying to build a containment area around that particular fire. Now, the Cedar Park fire, as Bryan was just mentioning, that one launched last night. And of course, the high winds definitely were launching embers. Embers can travel as far as 5 miles during a wildfire. So of course, people definitely need to be careful about that. Now, that fire Fortunately, that burned 50 acres and is now, I believe, about 60% contained. Now, they do want people to still avoid that area, and the mayor for Cedar Park is asking people to please conserve water for the next 48 hours as fire crews continue to fight that fire. Then we also have the fire burning in Caldwell County. That one's called the Plum Hopper Fire. That's said to be 35 acres. It is 0% contained tonight, and that is burning near Dickerson Road. So they want people to also avoid that area as much as possible as well. And I mean, these are 3 significant fires burning right now, and with the way the winds are whipping up, experts say they don't know how many more we might see.
Yeah, I mean, that's the unfortunate part about when you get into a fire weather situation like this. When the conditions are there, you need something to change for the fire weather conditions to go down. So until we're able to get any beneficial rain, unfortunately, this might be the reality where each afternoon and each evening we're on here talking about new fires that have developed. Again, there's been a number of them today. The breezy conditions that we talked about last night, that is going to continue to cause issues out here. In that big right box there, you can see that is one of our photographers who is live on the scene right there. Earlier, he was kind of focused in on some of the branches there, just whipping around in the breeze. Again, the latest reports that we have are 100 acres with this fire, which is near Decker Lake. It is 60% contained, but as Quita said, there have been a number of fires, one in Caldwell County today. We had an incident earlier around the Pflugerville area. Unfortunately, until we're able to get some beneficial rain, I do think that these fire weather conditions are going to continue. In fact, what I want to show you here is, we'll hop over to the weather graphics here in a moment. I want to show you the drought conditions. We're actually going to get a new update to this map tomorrow, and we will, of course, have that for you. We appreciate it, Quita. Thank you for hopping in with that report. Here is the map that I wanted to show you. This is our drought monitor map. East Austin right now, where this fire is taking place, is an area that is under severe drought. The Cedar Park fire took place in extreme drought over parts of southern Williamson County. Caldwell County right now, where we had the issues earlier today, also an area in severe drought. So especially along and east of I-35, we have seen a worsening of these drought conditions here over the past couple of weeks, and I have no reason to believe that the update tomorrow is not going to show more worsening. Let's get back into some of the current numbers out there as this fire is ongoing. I mean, look at this. Temperatures right now still 100 degrees in Austin. So as we go into the 9 o'clock hour, we still have triple-digit heat after a high of 108 today. Breezy conditions gusting to 21. In fact, let me actually pull up a map that zoomed in a little bit farther just so we can get some more kind of hyper-local wind reports here. And we'll wait a second for this to load in. And it's going to show you the numbers across the metro. That is not the map we wanted. Here we go. Gusting to 31 right now at the airport. So 31 at the airport, 21 at the main reporting site at Camp Mabry, 24-mile-per-hour wind gust right now in Pflugerville. It is a south-southeast breeze. So again, that would mean that the firefighters there are especially going to be watching the northern edge of the fire. So if there's any spread, it would likely be from flames and sparks being blown in the northern direction by the south-southeast breeze, which is still gusty out there this evening. Bryan, I'll bring you back into this. Are you seeing any other additional reports out there? Do you have any other information coming in on this?
Looking up that information from this specific area, again, this is that Decker Lake Hogeye Road fire that started just about 6 o'clock tonight. At least that was the first report we started to see there near Walter E. Long Metropolitan Park there by the Expo Center. No evacuation orders that I can find at this time. Again, this is kind of a rural area. If you're familiar with this part of Southeast Austin, you know the Expo Center and that surrounding area is more of a rural area, but we do have an update from the scene there. 100 acres burned, about 60% contained. Again, this is the area we're talking about, just south of the lake. The Expo Center is in this part of the map, so this is an area just to the southeast of the Expo Center. We don't know if any of those structures, 2 structures, have burned so far that we know of. Again, these were unoccupied, vacant structures, not homes. But on your screen, you can see several people in the area either coming to see what they can see or being moved out of the area. Again, not many homes in this part of Southeast Austin, but definitely a lot of vegetation, a lot of dry vegetation right next to the lake. If you're familiar with the park, you know there's some trails and some things to do right on that south side of the lake. So definitely some people in the area, but we don't hear of any evacuation orders at this time. 100 acres, 60% contained. That's the good news. They're getting a leg up on this fire as the wind blows. But on the left-hand side of your screen, that's from our tower camera, and you can still see just to the right there, right in the middle of the screen, just to the right side, you can see that orange glow, and that's the fire we're watching tonight, the grass fire that has sparked there in Austin, out by the Expo Center tonight. That wind's still blowing, Hunter, and that's the concerning part of this, as these firefighters no doubt are just taxed in the heat, but dealing with that wind out there tonight on this grass fire has got to be really difficult for those firefighters now that the sun has set.
I mean, you've got to imagine that and factor in the heat too. Again, even this evening, still temperatures are in the triple digits. We've got crews out there who are battling this blaze in breezy conditions and in exceptionally hot weather as well. Here, I will take the view full for you, and just to catch everybody up, again, the location of this is Decker Lake Road at Hawkeye Road. That is where it initially began, according to Austin Fire. Some of it has spread in the northerly direction. Again, this is around the Expo Center. We have had reports of two structures there, both of them evidently vacant, that have been impacted, but no structures that have been occupied. According to the latest information, we have had confirmation that Starflight has been on the scene. They're calling this a 2-alarm brush fire. Again, approximately 100 acres and about 60% contained. Austin Fire is just asking folks to avoid the area right now, as this has been creating some slowdowns as we have crews out there. But again, Starflight has been on scene. There's actually been 2 helicopters that I've been tracking. They have been dumping water on the fire there, and they will continue to battle this as we go through the evening hours. We are streaming this live on KVUE Plus and our YouTube channel. If anybody is in the area and has any reports, or if you have any questions for Bryan or myself, just let us know in the YouTube chat, and we will, of course, keep a very close eye on that. So we have a couple of vantage points here. This is the perspective from our tower cam. Let me take you back to the live view right now from one of our photographers on the scene there. They obviously want to stay out of the way. You can see the police have the perimeter set up there. Again, this is near Walter E. Long Park. There's a number of emergency vehicles who are coming in and out of the scene, but you can see they're just in the center, the illumination of some of those flames, and then especially that smoke plume, which is visible. There's a number of folks there who are just trying to stay out of the way. Again, 2 structures have been impacted according to Austin Fire. Both of them, though, evidently are vacant, but this is still a fire that is 60% contained, and they're going to need to continue to battle this as we go through the rest of this evening. For those of you who are watching our coverage yesterday as well, here, let me bring back the weather maps for you. We were talking about the breezy weather that was impacting areas last night up near Cedar Park. Tonight is no different. In fact, it's nearly identical right now. And it looks like here, I'm going to take this back real quick as they are zooming in there. It's tough to say, I believe. Is that that's a flag? I was making sure that was not the flames themselves. But again, you can see the smoke plume off in the distance there and all of the flags that are waving in that breezy weather. Not a surprise to us. I'm going to pop back into the boxes here, and we'll put our weather graphics there, and I'll toss the live picture back up in the top right for you. So let me get you kind of caught up here again as folks are kind of coming and going. Latest acreage is 100 acres, 60% contained. That was the last update we got, but it was about an hour ago from Austin Fire. 60% contained. We're especially watching things to the north of the current location where it initially developed. It was Decker Lake Road and Hawkeye Road. It is that strong southerly breeze which continues to impact all of central Texas this evening. Here are the latest numbers for you. Gusting to 21 miles per hour right now in Austin. The airport has been gusting upwards of 30 miles per hour. Looks like the new numbers have come in, gusting to 26 miles per hour right now at the airport. Pflugerville is gusting to 23. Relative humidity values, let's actually get zoomed back in. You can see that some of that Gulf moisture is making its way in, as happens during the evening hours. So yesterday we were tracking relative humidity values that were in the 20s when the Cedar Park fire developed. Earlier this afternoon, we also had relative humidity values which were in the 20s, but now as we go into the overnight hours, the temperature starts to drop. We get a little bit of a surge of Gulf moisture coming in, so the relative humidity values are quickly increasing. Hopefully that's kind of a silver lining as crews are fighting this 100-acre, 60% contained fire right now. Relative humidity at the airport is 52% right now, 47% at the airport, and that should continue to increase. We do have a red flag warning, which remains in effect until 11 p.m. on Thursday, and I'll just go ahead and tell you this will at least be extended into Friday and probably beyond that into the weekend. We've been going over our fire weather outlooks from the Texas A&M Forest Service. High to very high fire danger is going to continue at least, and for Thursday and Friday, notice that red color there, that's actually pockets of extreme fire danger, which is the highest level that the Texas A&M Forest Service outlines. Another update for you. Just to pass along, earlier this week, over the past couple of days, we were increased as far as our statewide fire preparedness level. It looks like our shot went down, so I will replace that. With router 2 there. We were brought to level 4, which means that a high volume of fires is possible. That has certainly bared true over the past couple of days. And it also means that large fires are a possibility. Now, the Cedar Park fire that we were tracking yesterday evening, it reached a size as large as 120 acres, but it seemed like they brought that size down through the overnight. This fire, as far as we can tell, currently that's happening near the Expo Center is 100 acres. We had a fire that was about 35 acres in Caldwell County, so these have been, in the grand scheme of things, relatively small. We have not seen the larger fires, 1,000 acres plus, and hopefully that trend continues. But unfortunately, we are going to see more fire weather conditions over the next couple of days. I'm going to put the tower cam back in here. And what we'll do, we will go through things one more time for you just to catch everybody up, and then we will take a break. And of course, we'll have full coverage coming up on our full newscast tonight at 10 o'clock. So here's a live look. When we started this broadcast a few minutes ago, it looked like the wind had actually picked up and it kind of fanned the flames. The fire honestly looked a little bit larger a couple of minutes ago, and hopefully that's a sign that starflights are out there, they're dumping water on it, crews are fighting it, and hopefully that means they're getting it more contained, that the fire is lesser in intensity. But for now, it's 100 acres and 60% contained. So Bryan, I'll toss things back over to you one more time again. Just walk folks through where exactly this is near the Expo Center in East Austin, and then we will reconvene with everybody coming up in our 10 o'clock newscast.
I did want to touch on the Cedar Park fire. You mentioned that as well. 50 acres now, and this is the area we're talking about. We were here with you last night. This area is where the fire was there, just off Palmer Lane, just south of Whitestone Boulevard, also known as 1431. The apartment complex here on your screen is the one that was affected by the fire. One building was lost in that fire, and several other areas were damaged. The far right-hand lane on Palmer remains closed. You can see the red here backing all the way into Brushy Creek. Palmer Lane headed northbound. Again, officials there telling us to avoid, or telling us to tell you, if you have to be in that area, be very careful around this area and avoid it if you can, because there's definitely still a lot of firefighting activity going on there. Let's back out and I'll take you back down to the area we were talking about near Walter E. Long Lake in southeast Austin. That's where the current fire is, and there's definitely some smoke still in the air. If you're in that area, you no doubt can still see that. But the firefighters from Austin Fire telling us 100 acres right now is the size of the fire, 60% containment, which is identical to the containment that they're seeing in Cedar Park. So 2 fires being fought right now in Central Texas by multiple agencies, one in southeast Austin, one still in Cedar Park, both being battled by the fire departments at 60% containment at this time, Hunter. So I've moved my map out. I can't find where I was, but we'll zoom in here and I can maybe take you, before we get on, I can take you back to that area and show you exactly where that fire is.
Just got a new update from the Austin Fire Department here, which is actually good news with the brush fire that we've been watching near the Expo Center. So the latest update, they say it is a 3-alarm brush fire, but it is now 95% contained. They say extensive mop-up activity is going to be needed from the crews there over the next several hours, and they continue to urge folks to avoid the area. But at this time, they say that no neighborhoods or additional structures are threatened. So again, this is a 100-acre wildfire. Previously, it was 60% contained. Now it is 95% contained, but there is some, quote, mop-up activity that's going to need to be done over the next couple of hours as crews continue to fight this. So what we will do, we will leave you with that. It is 9:05. We will reconvene here at 10 o'clock for our full newscast. At 10, we'll have information on this brush fire, the fire that popped up in Caldwell County, as well as the fire in Pflugerville earlier, and of course our continuing coverage of the situation in Cedar Park after the fire there last night. We'll keep you updated, and we will see you here tonight at 10 o'clock.